It's that time again. The annual conference of the American Society of Ag Consultants, otherwise known as ASAC, is going to be held in Fort Myers, Florida, this November 4th and 5th. Kurt Covington is one of 9 professionals who will address the conference. The other speakers who will cover a wide range of topics represent Florida Farm Bureau, Florida Citrus Commission, University of Tennessee Institute of Agriculture, National Ag Law Center, Risk Mitigators and Advisors, Tyler Associates, as well as the lead economist for dairy at CoBank, and myself, Chrissy Wozniak from North American Ag. The day and a half of presentations will be followed by ag tours on Tuesday afternoon at Echo Farms, one of my favorite places here in Fort Myers. Attendees will experience farming at its most creative, with unique demonstrations, plants, and techniques being used to help farmers and urban gardeners in developing countries. A second tour at Echo will showcase simple technologies that can improve food, water, and shelter for millions of people. A third tour of a hydroponic grower is also being planned. For more information and to register, visit www.agconsultants.org. That's www.agconsultants.org. See you there. And welcome to North American Ag Spotlight. I'm Chrissy Wozniak. My guests today are from the Great White North, from way up in Hearst, Ontario, Canada. This guy right here is the only person I know who has actually been run over by a transport truck, suffered from gangrene, and lived to tell the hilarious story. He's had a few instances of bad luck over his lifetime, but his family has faith like a rock and keeps an unparalleled sense of humor about it all. He's also the guy you want on your team if you're going to pull a prank on your good friends. I know this from experience. So I'd like to welcome Terry and Megan Buttnor. Welcome, Megan and Terry. And you know that was difficult for me because I always call you Teddy. So how are you guys today?
Doing really good. It's a beautiful day up here. The sun is kind of poking through the clouds, trying to make its way through and give us a little bit of its heat.
Yeah. And what's the temperature there right now?
When I woke up, it was minus 37 Celsius. And then it's now warmed up substantially to about minus 20.
Oh, that's awful. So Terry, you worked in the ag industry prior to a big career switch. Can you tell me about yourselves and why you made that switch?
Yeah. Actually, I still kind of do work in the ag industry. Like, Obviously we have the farm, but before I was working with a pressure washer company that was selling in. I was the end user seller. So I would sell to the barns, and I would go and I would check out the chicken barns and the pig barns and whatever. I would sell directly to the farmers, and that was where I started and where I'd met you up at that farm show up close to Barrie, and then I got on with Nilfisk, and I was the regional sales manager for all of Canada for pressure washers. And I actually still currently hold that. Now I do it as a contractor. So I'm able to continue to work with the ag industry and to distributors who are selling into the ag industry. And so I'm still selling pressure washers. I'm still doing that. But I'm able to do it from the comfort of my home in my pajamas. And then of course subsidize our living here, because we're not 100% self-sufficient. But bills still need to be paid and such. And it's really great to be able to have the freedom to be able to support my guys across the country, and help the farmers and the ag industry and such.
Yeah, that's great. And Megan, do you want to tell me a little bit about yourself too?
Sure. Originally from London, Ontario, so down south. I'm used to some warmer temperatures, and moved out, got married to this guy and moved out to Alberta because that's where he's originally from.
Yeah.
And then together we moved out to PEI. So we've kind of been all over, and we've always had Terry grew up on a little hobby farm.
Yeah, mom's farm.
And then in PEI, we had
86 acres.
86 acres
Wow.
and some lands. And when we moved back to Ontario and bought our home in Shakespeare, we had a little hobby farm with some chickens. It wasn't huge, but
it was a half acre.
It was half acre.
Yeah.
But we've always had the same goal, the same vision, to expand on that and have a bigger piece of property. And we've always wanted to be self-sufficient and raise our family that way and teach our kids where their food actually comes from, and be able to sell to the community and
teach them as well.
Yeah.
As we learn.
I also have like a personal support worker healthcare background. And I went to school for business purchasing. So so it's a little bit about me.
Yeah, very diverse backgrounds. That's very cool. And then, so when I met you guys, you lived in Shakespeare, which is near Stratford, Ontario, in Southern Ontario. And what has it been now? A couple years?
No, we actually escaped the South and we moved up here. We got here on the 26th of October of 2020. So we've been here just over a year. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Just over a year.
Cool. Yeah.
We're in our second
you guys
year.
Purchased an abattoir, a former abattoir. And
that's right.
Way up north now. So tell me that story. Why did you purchase a former abattoir? And for Americans, I don't think Americans call it abattoirs, right? That's a French.
Slaughterhouse.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
So we kind of stumbled across this place just online, and in July of 2019, I guess it was.
August?
No, it was 2020, because that's when we moved up here. So in July of 2020, we did a little vacation. We left a road trip. We left from down south, and we did a route coming up here, and we stopped at several different locations that were for sale that we had found on MLS. And we'd stopped down by Sault Ste. Marie, Betchewana Bay. We stopped up here. We stopped in Cochrane, and we looked at another couple down south. And we kind of just fell in love with this place. As we were here, my son, Josiah, who just turned 11 yesterday, said, we're going to buy this place. He was like, in his brain, he was already planning where the treehouse was going to be going. And, he was like, this is it. So the thought, the dream, the prayer, the whatever the plan was, that we were going to get the abattoir up and going. The people who were selling us this place, they had the abattoir, and tragically it burned down like 8 years ago. So all we have is the pad from where that abattoir was. So that when they first started, they started in the garage, which is just on the other side of this wall here. And they started small, and we're like, we can do that. We can start small, and we can do this. And we actually, once we moved up here and started digging in a little bit deeper, we knew the government was going to have, rules and regulations and stuff. But the more we dug, the more we found the government regulations and they're just like, oh, well, if you're going to do that, if you put a sink there and we want it over there, you have to move it. And if you have this and we want that, well, then you have to do it, or we're going to shut you down. And we're like, okay, so there's safety aspects, but I was like, well, I don't like being told what to do. so I was like, maybe this isn't the best. Like, this is just going to get really expensive, and like really expensive. So there's an abattoir like 3.5 hours away from here, which isn't horrible. And we decided we were just going to support them. And I bought a trailer instead, a nice big stock trailer. And we just support them. They're already up and going. And we're like, you know what, we'll do what we do. And that's like raise and grow cows and pigs and stuff. And then they can do what they do, and they can do it because they're going to do it better than I do it anyways. And they can put up with the government and the rules and regulations and stuff like that. So,
yeah, that's cool. So what is the purpose now? You've shifted now to more farm to table, where you go get it processed and then you sell it in Hearst.
Yeah, exactly. So got a nice little package of ground pork there, and you can see it says Great North Acres on the top. And we sell like 20-pound box, 40-pound box, kind of in 20-pound increments. And we give a very fair price, and we've had nothing but positive feedback from everyone who's bought our pork. They're like, oh, we love the fact we know where it's coming from, and we love the fact that it's local, and we love the fact that we get to support local. It's a really nice community up here. It's very French, and we do not parler le français. We are learning little things like no parler français. We're learning those kind of phrases and phraseologies. Like, I don't understand. Anyways, great people up here, and they really have been supportive of us, even though we are outsiders. They love the fact
that's cool.
that we're up here, and they love the fact that we are farming the land. And I'm working with other farmers. Our next door neighbor on the other side, he does hay and grain and oats and such. And he's just about in his 60s and works another job. So he takes care of the family farm kind of on the side. And he's just been so instrumental and kind of taken me under his wing. And I work with him. Like, we've only got 72 acres, and there's acres and acres and acres on this road. And Daniel and myself kind of take care of all the acreages on this road, because everybody's like, oh yeah, take care of the hay, like cut it, and it keeps the mosquitoes down for them when we're taking care of the crops, and it's feeding my cows, and it's just awesome. It's a very symbiotic kind of relationship. I go out and rake, and he has equipment and I have equipment, and between the two of us, we take care of everything. It's really awesome.
Right.
And that's growing as well. Like, there's other farmers that we're going to be, there's about 5 of us that are going to be working together this summer, spring, fall.
Yeah, and I was going to say, my friend Lynn, she's another farmer, and her and I and another group are like, we do farmers markets, and we get all of that organized.
Yeah.
So it's been really great to see. And then the community has been very supportive.
Super supportive, yeah.
Have come out, and they're very, very excited. They used to do something like this, and then it was kind of shut down. So everybody's really happy that it's back up and going. And we were doing farmers markets right up until December.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
we changed the location of it. Like, initially it was kind of in town. And we've changed the location. It's actually out on site north of Hearst, and it's in an uncategorized township. So there's again with no overreach for the government. We can kind of do what we want, awesome. Which is really awesome.
Yeah. I didn't know there was anything north of Hearst that you could go to without a snowmobile or a plane.
Or snowshoes.
Or snowshoes, yes. Well, I've been thinking a lot lately about the supply chain issues, especially in the cattle industry and the meat industries, really. And one of the biggest threats, especially with farmers over here, and then the meat packers that are making money, and the grocery stores making money, and one of the biggest threats is that people don't know how to feed themselves anymore. If the supply chain cut off, everybody's dead. And I think this stat is like 8 months, most people, because they cannot feed themselves. Like, there is no way. We've lost that. We're 2 generations away from being able to feed ourselves. So, in thinking about that, I started thinking about you guys, and that's why I invited you on the show, because I feel like you're going somewhere in a direction that's very good for the public.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was our whole we were sitting down and all of a sudden we're like, what if?
Yeah.
What if like you couldn't get your food at the grocery store anymore?
Yeah.
What then? Where are you going to go?
Yeah. We're
And
not
then,
like doomsday preppers or nothing like that.
But like,
I haven't finished my bunker.
It's not quite ready yet.
Not quite ready yet.
There's no.
No bunker.
So where are you gonna go? Like, what are you gonna do? And we were like, well, the whole farm to table thought came to mind. And we're like, let's support our farmers. Let's be a part of that vision, and let's get that going. And so we're here working with the community. We're here doing what we can do, selling eggs and pork and eventually beef, and vegetables.
Yeah, we've got 2 acres of garden that we did last year and failed miserably. And by that, I mean, I was lazy and didn't pick the carrots that I should have. And the carrots that I did pick, the chickens ate. We learned lots last year.
Sounds like.
Yeah, we learned lots, and we still have so much to learn. But yeah, no, we're this year we're going to have the greenhouse up and running. We did buy a 20 by 30 greenhouse, and it's taken us a year to get it up. We do have the plastic on it now. I have to finish the front of it, which won't take very long. It's just plastic. So we'll have the greenhouse up and running, and we'll actually be able to grow some decent stuff. And throughout next winter, we'll be able to actually grow through the winter because I'll have it plumbed in to the heater. We've got an outdoor boiler.
Oh, that's amazing.
Fresh veggies all through the winter as well.
Our thought behind that was because we're so remote. And like I was saying, if something were to happen, where's all of this going to come from? Like,
yeah. If they decided to just, when I say they, I mean like whomever, if they decided to just shut the diesel off and truckers could no longer truck up here, what would we do?
What would we do? Well,
we would starve. So, but we wouldn't, right? Like we would be able to help the community because we'll be in the spot where we can continue to grow and where we can continue to live sustainably. Yeah.
Very good. And speaking about truckers turning it off, so what do you think about the truckers convoy in Ottawa? I've been watching, and can't stop watching.
We've been watching. There was some really bad weather last week, and we ended up on Thursday. I think it was last Thursday, right? I think it was last Thursday. They were coming through down south on Highway 17, which goes across to Sault Ste. Marie, like down to Sault Ste. Marie. And we were going to go and meet them down there and supply coffee because we have Great North Acres coffee, is one of our branded things that we sell in the community here. And we were going to give out coffee for the truckers and just be like, hey, go, because I've had my AZ or my class 1 driver's license since I was 18. So that's like 22 years now that I've been on and off. I've always driven truck. I still have it. I just renewed it last July. So it ended up that we had some really bad weather, and some of the truckers ended up having to come up Highway 11, which goes through Hearst. So we ended up turning around about halfway and coming back up. And we were working with OPP, Ontario Provincial Police. We were working with them and just letting them know what we were doing and where we were going and how it was going. Yeah, they were in full support of what we were doing, like supporting the truckers. And we ended up setting up at the Shell in Hearst, and there was over 100 trucks came by. And there was a really nice group of people that came together. And we're talking like this wasn't planned for weeks because we didn't even know that they were coming up through Hearst.
This was last minute.
Yeah, so there was very last minute, but they were definitely, we had, oh my goodness, people were dropping food off, and people were dropping water and windshield washer fluid was supplied for the truckers. And Like
Like
everybody
the whole
came.
community came together.
Yeah.
And it was just
Yeah.
amazing to see, like, because it was so last minute,
Yeah.
that how many people were like in full support of the convoy and just really wanted to do something.
Yeah.
And it was just amazing.
It was amazing. Yeah,
Amazing
being a
to
part of
see.
it.
And we were there. We were up at like 4:30 that morning,
Yeah.
and we didn't get home till about 11:30 that night.
Yeah, it was
Like,
a long day. Oh, and
it was
cold too.
and
Oh, like
so cold.
what people don't understand. I was talking to Megan earlier today about this, and what I think what a lot of people don't understand is these truckers and the people who are going out to support them. Like, this isn't a vacation. We're minus 20. Like, it's cold. You can die outside.
Like in 10 minutes.
like in 10 minutes if you're not safe. So like, it's not like they're like, oh, hey, let's go on a nice paid vacation to Ottawa
in the winter.
January. Like, no, these people are standing up and saying like, hey, enough is enough is enough. Again, with the overreach. So yeah.
Yeah.
But apparently there's some farmers that came down with their tractors.
Oh yeah, with the tractors.
To
There's some big.
Ottawa, so
Yeah.
that was really cool to see.
They're also doing it in Alberta and Saskatchewan
and I think
and Manitoba.
down in Toronto.
Well, and maybe probably more too. But yeah. There's we're on a couple of Facebook groups with the farmers, and they're definitely rallying together. And they're like, we grow it, they truck it. Let's work together. So that's pretty awesome as well.
Yeah,
that's really cool. And what are you seeing in the supply chain disturbances where you are? Is it affecting you guys in Northern Ontario, or what's it like?
Well, everything that we get up here, for the most part, is trucked to us, like, because we are in the north here. So,
and you have to think about, like, the town that we live in. We only have one major grocery store.
Yeah.
One big grocery store.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what if that didn't have anything?
Yeah.
Right. And to put it in perspective for everyone, so if you were going to drive from home to Niagara Falls, what is that, 20 hours? 19 hours?
No, it's not that far. We're about 1,000 kilometers north of Toronto. So okay. I could drive to Niagara. Well, then it's
like 12 hours.
Then it's quicker if it's miles.
12 hours, right?
If it's 1,000 kilometers, it's 600 miles. So we're about 600 miles north of. It takes about 10 hours from Toronto.
Okay.
Yeah, to get up there. So plus 2.
So in perspective, then leaving Niagara Falls to get to the border of North Carolina would be about the same. So it's a lot of land in between.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot. Yeah. It's not a great drive. There's not a huge reception on the phone. So it's even hard to listen to podcasts. But turns out I don't mind sitting with my thoughts. Being a trucker, that's what I do. I come up with silly things.
Yeah. So what about the cost of inputs? What are you seeing up there?
I just got the bill for our fertilizer. Now, last year we decided to let all of our land rest. We didn't plow. We didn't take anything off. We didn't do anything because we didn't know what this kind of the state of our land was that we had purchased and that we're leasing. So we just let it rest. We're like, we'll just let all the nutrients sit there, and we're gonna give you break land, is what we said. But last year, had I bought fertilizer, it would have been $750 a ton, and I just got the bill for it, and it's $1,500 a ton. So it's doubled in price.
Wow.
Yeah, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
everything's
and then the price of seed is going up, and diesel has gone up a few cents.
To save some
every
money,
day.
we bought a diesel storage tank, and we have that on our property.
Yeah, we brought in a tank, so now we got a good price because we bought bulk. Just like when you buy anything bulk, you get a little bit of a discount.
Right.
Everything has gone up.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. So in your opinion, what's the solution? So if you had the power to change whatever you want, to help this supply chain issue, what would you do?
Well, you've heard of the trickle down effect.
Mm-hmm.
If you give a bunch of money to the people who have money, then it trickles down. Yeah, it doesn't actually work like that. But if you, I think that if you were to stop giving them money and give it to us, it will trickle up. I'm coining it as the trickle up effect. So just give me a bunch of money. Oh no, this isn't that. Oh shoot, those were side thoughts. No, so I guess my thought is I think that there's a huge amount of like overstep. I think that if you look at all the reasons that everything has gone up, it all starts at the top. Like the reason that the fertilizer has gone up is because the petroleum has gone up, like we have to bring it in, and we're not actually getting it from Alberta or more locally. So it all comes from the top, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Like the price of diesel, the reason our prices of diesel are so high is because of the carbon taxes, right? So then it trickles down and everybody's like, well, I have to pay for this, I have to pay for that. The trucking has gotten so expensive because the diesel's gotten expensive. Well, the truckers and the trucker companies can't just eat that. They have to pass it on. And now it trickles down. So it all starts at the very top. Like if the government if the government kind of stops, whichever government, wherever the government, no. If the government would stop their overreaching and overtaxing, then the prices would go down. So that's what I personally think. And I'm not like some crazy guy who's like 100% anti-government. I'm against the overstep, the overtaxing, the overreach. And we've seen this in history. Like this isn't the first time in the history of governments and monarchs that they're overtaxing their people. And I feel like that if they were to just be more fiscally responsible, then we would be in a better spot. Like everyone would be in a better spot.
Yeah,
that's my thoughts.
It always seems that the big answer is always more regulation, and I totally disagree. That isn't the answer. More regulation, that just makes more rules, and we don't need more rules. We need fresh ideas and innovation, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. And changing gears a little bit, you guys have been very active on social media with videos from your farm, including instructional videos on processing chickens. I remember that one last year. So what are you hoping people take away from these videos?
So we were discussing that, and I think what we want to take away, or what we take away from it, is the fact that we learned from someone. Like I learned how to process chickens from my mom, and I've learned how to do pigs from somebody else, and I learned how to. So if we can just keep on giving that education on, we had to learn it from somewhere, and if we can pass it on and give somebody a aha moment, then that's awesome. We already win. Like we've already gotten what we want to get out of it. Is if somebody else can feed their family, how much did it cost us to make that video? Nothing. But
we can pass on some tips and tricks.
Yeah, exactly.
Make somebody else's life a little bit easier, or then that gives us the satisfaction.
Yeah, exactly.
And we can do it. We know other people can do it. Like it's doable. Yeah. And I think it's a mindset thing. People get so caught up in, well, I can't do it. It's going to cost too much, or I have to completely change my life or whatever.
Yeah, or it's like it's too overwhelming.
It's too overwhelming or too expensive or whatever. And those are those are excuses, really. Like, it doesn't have to be that difficult.
Right.
It is really doable. And whether you want to do it as a small little hobby farm, or if you want to do it as a huge project like what we're doing, we had to start somewhere, and doing a little bit matters.
Yeah, that's it. And last year we processed our own chickens, and your videos actually helped me because we couldn't get the temperature right and on the boiler to get the feathers off. So it was good. I think I watched your video about 4 times, and I think I called a couple times too. Like, feathers aren't coming off. What are we? And then you said to crank up the temperature a little bit. That's it. Yeah.
But
so I think that's really valuable. Right.
Exactly.
And lose the skin. We did that too.
Yeah.
Too high, and then the skin comes off.
Exactly. And then they look sad.
Yes, they do. So what advice do you have for producers as we come into the 2022 growing season?
Well, we can speak to kind of the producers maybe that are in the same boat as we are. You know, we've got a tract of land. We've got, 70 acres. We've got 40 cows. We've got a bunch of chickens. We can speak maybe to them and say, well, this is what we are doing, and this is our advice, is just go out there. Don't be afraid to market yourself, and to ask a decent price. Don't let people browbeat you and be like, oh, well, I can get eggs for $2.69 at the store. Like, educate. Oh, that's huge. Is educate people. Take the time to talk to them. When we go to market, the reason we can sell as much coffee as we do is because we educate them from where this coffee came from, how it's fair trade, how it comes into Canada, how it's roasted down in Baden and then sent to us when we order it, and it's fresh, and it's, like, when people hear that, they're like, oh, we're not just buying some ground coffee beans, we're buying Great North Acres, and it's
local. They seem to know what they're doing, and they've educated us, and I feel comfortable buying the Great North Acres coffee, or the
Great North Acres eggs, or Great North Acres pork, or Great North Acres whatever. They're buying us, right? Like, we have to market ourselves, and we have to educate. We have to tell the story. Like, this is why our meat is better, and this is why our eggs are better, and this is why, so that's my advice, is go out there and market the heck out of yourself. If you're a farmer, work hard, and you deserve a living wage. Like, if a coffee house place if the kids there are making $15 an hour, I think we deserve a wage. We're driving tractors, and we're getting up at the wee hours in the morning, and we're going out in the middle of the night checking the cows, and we're spending time away from our families out in the fields and working hard. We deserve to be paid fairly as well.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because you've seen a lot of small farms who market themselves, who just go to business. And, right now more than ever, we need you guys.
Yeah. And work together. Like, it's not a competition. And that's something we've definitely seen up here, is a lot of the people who we associate with, like, we're not in competition with each other. And there's lots of room. There's 5,500 people just in town and in this little area. So it's okay if there's a little bit of duplicating. But go out there and work with your other neighbors. And if they're doing something awesome, send people over to support them. And then, of course, support your local, your other locals. Like, we've actually stopped buying at the big box store, at the big independent grocer, and we only 100% since October, we've completely gone so that we're only buying from small places. We only, local businesses, small, local, independent, where I can go in, shake the hand of the owner and say, hey, how's it going today? We really like what you're doing. You're small, you're local, and that's awesome. And
developing those relationships is important.
Yeah,
too,
exactly.
And just being, just connecting with people.
Yeah.
Like Terry says,
it's relationships.
It's they're buying Terry and Megan. They're buying Great North Acres. Like they're buying from us because we haven't been afraid to do the social medias or do the farmers markets or just talk to people.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay, these guys, we know what these guys are about. One major question when we moved up here was why?
Yeah.
Why are you here?
Everybody's asking why.
Why? They just wanted to know like who we are and what we're doing and what we plan on doing. And once they knew that, they're like, oh, okay, we support you.
Yeah.
And they're buying our vegetables and they're buying our eggs and they're buying our pork and they're buying the handmade coffee and the handmade soaps that I'm making.
Yeah.
Like they're full support. And I think it's definitely a relationship and just networking and getting to know people.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And Terry, you're honestly probably one of the funniest people I've ever met. But how do you keep that positivity and why do you approach life with humor?
So you'd sent this list of questions so that we could kind of not be, surprised or thrown off guard or whatever. And we were reading through and Megan's like, are you funny? And I'm like, yes, but we've been we've been in jail over the last 2 years.
Funny. That's one of the reasons why I'm married.
Yeah. But like, it's hard. And it's, I don't know, when you have that joy, it just kind of emulates from you. It comes out, and I like seeing other people smile. And yeah, honestly, over the last little while, it's been hard. Like I get my energy tank kind of filled by being around people and feeding off other people's energy. And I think there's a lot of extroverted people who are kind of like that. And we haven't really had a chance to do that as much. With these silly mandates and lockdowns and stuff. So yeah, it's been hard, but man, is it ever good to get together with people and to get your batteries charged? And so I guess the answer is how do I do it? Well, it just comes naturally because when my tank of joy and love is overfilled, then it just comes out, and I like having fun.
And I also think that not only him but myself, we're doing what we love to do.
Yeah.
So that positivity is easy, or I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I agree. I'm the same way. I need people. I need the energy of people. And that's why I started a podcast. Now I can trick people to come and talk to me once a week, no matter what, and kind of fill up my tank of, especially, being in Canada the last couple of years where you're very isolated, very locked down, at least here, even just in the setting, it feels like we can connect. And that also brings me a lot of joy too. Mm-hmm. And so also I have a question. In your logo and pictures of your farm, what's the deal with the snowshoes?
Well, I've kind of pushed that one. Yeah. So I pushed it. So I just really like them. There's kind of there's a joy when you're able to strap on some snowshoes and go somewhere where you shouldn't be able to go. Like yesterday, I walked through some snow without snowshoes, and it was up past my thighs, and I nearly died. We just about made it so it was just about so that I couldn't have this interview with you. So yesterday, had I had to go much further, I probably would still be there, like stuck. But with snowshoes, they're a tool. that you can walk up on up on the snow with ease. And I don't know, they just look cool. They're snowshoes.
And you had said at one point that you're trying to get the biggest snowshoe on your farm.
Oh, yeah, that's a dream of mine. We haven't had we haven't had the time, and when we do have the time, we don't have the money, and when we do have the money, we don't have the time. But eventually, we do want to build the world's largest snowshoe. As far as my searching has gone, the biggest one is only like 20 feet long. So we're going to build like a 30-foot snowshoe, and we're going to get on the Guinness Book of World Records, and people will come to Great North Acres to get their picture with the giant snowshoe.
I love it.
Because
Megan, how do you feel about it?
Why not? Why not?
That's right. Everybody needs a dream.
It also brings people to Hearst, to the community, yes. And it's fun. Why not?
Well, and it's a part of the heritage up here. Like
everybody snowshoes.
Yeah, everybody. We have neighbors, and they've got like probably 30 pair, and we can go down there and go snowshoeing through their back 40. And it's good exercise. It's really, really fun. If you haven't done it, you need to. It's a lot of fun.
I lived in Muskoka as a kid, so I have a few times, but I prefer the sand and the heat. Definitely. And I guess that's why I live in Florida. Yeah. So I guess moving on into another topic that I know about you guys, what role does faith play in your lives? I know it's important to you, and can you explain that?
So it's like the be all and the end all, really. We are Christ followers. I
think that also helps with our positivity.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Take on life too, and our farm, and wanting to help the community. So
yeah,
it does play a big role.
It's shining God's love out there. So yeah, it's everything we do for God. So I guess what part does it play in our life? It's everything. It's everything. It's the reason we get up in the morning. It's the reason we take care of the animals and love them, because we are instructed to, and we want to, because they're gifts. And family is a gift, and our friends are gifts, and we want to take care of them and love them, and we want give back. There's a neighbor just down the way here, and we ended up befriending him. He had asked for some help. He was in his 70s, we came to have a great friendship over the last little while, and he called me weird. He kept calling me weird, because I would go over and I'd be like, "Oh, you're low on wood. I'm going to bring you some wood. Oh, here, we brought you a meal." Oh, and we were just loving him, right? Mm-hmm. And he kept calling me weird. And he said, I haven't met people like you before. Like, you guys are just weird. And we're like, dude, we just love you. Like, you're our neighbor, and we just love you. And that's kind of, if we could sum our life up, it's just love others. and that's how it is. Like, that we love others. So we want others to eat good food, and we want others to have good lives. And if it's our job, it's our reason for living is to spread love.
We're not doing this because like a farm was passed down to us or anything like that. We're doing it because we want to do it, but we also want to help others. And that's kind of the main drive, the main goal is to help the community and others. And yeah,
that's awesome. And that leads right into my last question. What gets you out of bed in the morning? What are you the most passionate about?
Yeah, I think what gets us out of bed in the morning is, it gets me out of bed in the morning.
In the wintertime.
In the wintertime is like, it's minus 37, and I know that the wood boiler is probably empty.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's my big, kind of kick in the pants in the winter. But yeah, the reason that I get out of bed is because when I open my fridge or my freezer and I see our own meat, that brings me joy. When I open our fridge and I see our eggs, that brings me joy. In the summer, when I look across the road and I see peas and beans and all sorts of different vegetables, that brings me joy. Like when we sit at a table and we're like, this cost us work, but it didn't cost us a huge amount of money. And then
we didn't have to go to the big
we didn't have to go to the box store. What I like to do is I'm like, okay, so if I went to the Keg and I bought this meal, how much would this cost me? Okay, so this steak here, this 28-ounce steak would cost this much, and the baked potato would be this, and the Caesar salad would be this. Oh, this is a $70 meal. So then I'm able to be like, oh, we made money, but not money. We made food, but we get so wrapped up in money, kind of just remembering what it's worth. Like the taste is better. The quality is better. The satisfaction. There's a huge amount of satisfaction in going out to the garden and snapping off a green pea and stuffing it in your mouth. Like that's a huge amount of satisfaction.
Oh, I get that.
That it's super fresh and the nutrients is.
Oh, and that it hasn't been sprayed, and I'm not like downing anybody who's farming and has to spray whatever, but like we know that we haven't sprayed, so we know exactly what's in it,
right?
Which is
yeah, very good. Yeah. Megan, do you have anything else to add about what gets you guys out of bed in the morning?
Well, I have to go and water and feed all of the chickens, and then we have 2 kids, so that gets me out of
water and feed them.
Gotta water and feed them too, so that gets me out of bed.
Yeah. And, then we also homeschool.
So
busy lives.
There's a lot of things that get me out of bed in the morning.
Yeah,
we're not really ones to be curled up in a ball and lounging around and feeling. There's moments where we feel defeated because it's not perfect. It's hard.
Yeah,
it's hard work.
Yeah, we have those days, or we have those times. Like we were discussing this. Like it hasn't been all rosy. We lost a couple calves this winter, and every time a calf, every time we lose an animal, it's a part of our family, and that sucks. Or if something goes wrong, like it sucks. but we both like the challenge. So getting out of bed in the morning, the challenge, feeling completing that challenge or that task, feeling the satisfaction of, like Terry was saying, being able to eat our pork, or looking in our fridge and being like, I grew that. Yeah.
Like that came from our land. Yeah. Like that just keeps us going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much. What a great discussion, guys. That was really fun.
Thanks so much for having us. It's been, it was nice chatting, and this filled my tank for a couple days. Tomorrow we'll be out meeting with some people at the Shell again, and kind of making the horn honk thing to the semis, and I'll drive my tractor down there, and it'll be fun. Yeah.
That's great. And thanks to everyone who's watching or listening. If you want to learn more, the links are provided in the show notes, and we'll put the links to your social media as well. Do you have a website yet?
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We'll put the links to the website as well. And don't forget to subscribe to North American Ag Spotlight on YouTube, Rumble, or AgFuse channels. And the podcast is available on Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, Amazon, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And have a great day.
Do it.
Thanks so much for listening to today's Ag Spotlight episode, where we put the spotlight on people and companies doing great things for the agricultural industry. Don't forget to subscribe on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, Stitcher, or on your favorite podcasting platform, and give us a 5-star review. You can also follow us on YouTube and Rumble to see the video version of Ag Spotlight. Also, head on over to NorthAmericanAg.com to subscribe to our Industry Connect update newsletter. If you're interested in advertising opportunities, email us at connect@NorthAmericanAg.com. Thanks for listening. Our newest podcast by North American Ag is called What Color is Your Tractor? The stories behind the ag brands you love and the ag brands you love to hate. Hosted by me, Chrissy Wozniak. We take a deep dive into the companies that have built modern agriculture. Subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform. Go to whatcolorisyourtractor.com. Available on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you listen to podcasts.